Hey guys, welcome to the third part of the video where we are going to build a business level web app using Flutter. If you haven't seen any of our videos in the previous parts, I will attach the link down below, so you go watch that and then to this video. So let's get started. In the previous video we have created these links, but now as we have created the model and the service, we are going to build this UI. So the first thing we have to do is go for this editor. I'm going to add a column now, and inside here I'm going to have a separate column here, okay. So for now I will be using this column. I will change this to animated list whenever we complete the basic structure. So this is for our understanding, guys. So here we are going to have a certain number of these boxes, so I'm going to create a separate boxes for here where it is also holding the button states. So I'm going to go with the stateful widget. So in here we can see there is one box here, and when we click on it, it is appearing with another box. So basically there will be two box one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a column here. In this column I'm going to have children's, and I'm considering this as my first container and this as my second container, right? And I'm also going to have a state loader. So I'm going to so I'm going to provide the ternary here. So is open. So if it is false, it is not going to show. So I'm going to show just a empty sized box. Okay. But when it does, it need to show a container height of 250. So I'm going to give a decoration here. Okay, now it's done. So I will just copy this decoration here. Okay, it's the same decoration here. Instead it is not going to have a color. Instead of that, it is going to have a border. Yes, let's see the output. Okay, we have to mention this editor code here. Okay, we can see that. So it just needs a little bit size lower. Let's stick with 90. And then I will make it one more for understanding the paddings and margins. I will change to double dot max finite, so it will just access how much space it has from the parent. And I will add a margin, metric, vertical margin of 8. Of 300. I'm going to apply the same one here. Yes, we have an output here exactly like this. Okay, let's now add a child and a button here. So I'll just quickly add it. We have this output here. So I'm going to go with and I will add some padding here. Yes, now it looks good. So let's just have this button to be changing some states. So I'm going to here give a set state here. Is open is equal to not is open. So when it's true, it's state to not true. So yes, so we can see that it is not animating yet, but yes, so we have this widget right here. Okay, here we have to give animated container. Instead of showing two different widget here, sized box and container, I'm just going to change the size here. What I will do is I will remove this sized box, remove this ternary operator. I will just going to change this height. So when it is open, it is going to have a size of 250. When it not have is open, when it states false, I will go with 0. So now we will be having some animation here. Oh yes, having this animation. So I'm just need to make a curve here. Okay, so I'll just single child scroll view because it doesn't have the scroll view right now. Okay, now we have working fine. So yes, so now we just need a data for this editor cards because we are having this title and link here. So I'm just going to get a link here. I'm just going to reference an object here. Yes, so inside this link we can see widget.data.title. We just don't have to worry about the null values or other things. It will be handled by the model. So the URL, and yes, that's it. So to get the components here, we are going to use provider here. So the provider is the best way to link one object to several part of the UIs. So in here we can see that this object is directly dependent in here, right? So when I change it, it is also changing in here. So to make this one happen, we have to use the provider concept here. So I will teach you how to add the provider and everything. So the first thing we need to do is go for linktr. And we just need to add change notifier here. Okay, so this change notifier need a provider. So where can we locate this provider? So the provider need to be located at the main page. So why I'm using this not on the editor path but on the main dot, because the main dot contains the main dot behaves like a parent for editor and also for the preview. So when I am creating an object in here, it is being significant one object for editor and also for the preview. So I can use it multiple times inside any of this stateful widgets. So in here I'm going to create this provider here, change notifier here, change notify provider. Service. So I accidentally added it on link, so it should not be in here. It should be at the link service because link service contains the objects for everything. Okay, so this is the link service. and in right here we need to create an object. So the best way to create an object is returning the object, new object with a built-in constructor. So I'm returning the new constructor here, so I'm just using the context operator. So now we have provider that will provide link service to this section. So I'm going to go for the editor section and I'm going to grab that values. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a builder here. So just wrap with builder, and then for the builder name I'm going to go with consumer. So this consumer will have a type of link service as an value, and then this builder is going to have a context, and I'm going with link service here with a camel case and a child. So this link service carries the object that was newly created using the constructor in here. So I'm just going to use this link service everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this one, remove this default, and I'm going to go with link service dot component list. We can see this component list dot map. So I'm going to map it as a list, and I'm going to return the editor card. Inside the editor card I'm going to map the element E for the data. Editor card, I'm going to map E for this data, and in here I'm going to go with tool list to make it as a list. So here it will expect a widget here, so I'm going to give a widget return type. So yes, this sounds good. Now we should be able to appear a one list that contains the data. So yes, we can see that in here. So we have now created a provider and we have provided the data across every region. So we can also make it for the preview, but we can save it for the later part. Let's now complete this UI because we have to edit it here, right? So yes, now that we have learned how provider works efficiently across these models and the UI part, we will be learning how to implement simultaneous changes in change provider in the next part of the video. So until the next video, stay tuned guys.